Welcome to rock music.
Bluetooth mode.
Oh dear Lord, you are mine. Om Shri Paramatmane Namaha. Only you are my mother and father. Only you are my kin and compare are innumerable ways to attain God realization. Amongst all those paths, I have found a unique path which is uncommon. It is I belong to God. You may perceive this as ordinary, but in my opinion, it is extremely unique. Each one of us is God's child. It is not a usual fact. This renders God realization exceedingly easy. One disciple put a question in front of Swamiji. Earlier, you instructed us regarding seeking refuge in God and chanting His name. Then you asked us to regularly repeat, "Oh, my dear Lord, I must never forget you." And now you are telling us to accept our belongingness to God. Which of these sadhanas should we follow? Swamiji replies, "Follow which I am instructing you now. All sadhanas are excellent for accepting God, but accepting that God is mine. This makes us close to God. The closer we have to God, the better the worship becomes." Next, one more question was put by one more question was put by a disciple in front of Swamiji. Carrying out all deeds diligently, or disregarding our belongingness with the material world, or accepting our belongingness to God, which among us the three sadhanas is most appropriate to break away from our achievements and aversion and attain liberation? Swamiji says, accepting our belongingness to God is the foremost sadhana. Because of our acceptance of the belongingness to God, by the virtue of God's grace, attachment and aversion are also reversed, and liberation is also fulfilled. This, this practice, this practice is much more powerful than chup sadhana. For instance, a daughter in your family once married accepts that I belong to my husband place. Similarly, you must accept that I belong to God. This is an extremely effortless and pre-eminent sadhana. God has Himself specified this as the ultimate untold secret, Sarvabhuhatma. Sarvabhuhatma. In the entire instruction of the Gita, the term Sarvabhuhatma has been used only once. I am really studying this with folded hands. That, in my opinion, this is the foremost sadhana. I feel so in my heart that if we accept that God belongs to us, then our task will be quickly done. God is mine. If this is accepted, then a whole lot of our work is done. We have already come quite close to God. All that you wish to depart from would be achieved by God's grace, God's strength only. In Jnana Yoga and Karma Yoga, both sadhana means path and sadhana means destination are distinguishable. Whereas in Bhakti Yoga, God Himself is the sadhana as well as the sadhya. That's why the path of Bhakti Yoga is comparatively brisker to treat. Everybody is not aware of this fact. That's why I keep on emphasizing that you must accept your belongingness to God. God is our Father. Each one of us is beloved son and daughter. Accept this and consider most of your work completed. It is better than God's continual remembrance. To accept our relationship with God, that I belong to God, our relationship is ever existing. Our relationship is ever existing. Once the relation is embarrassed, then God's remembrance occurs inherently and doesn't have to be practiced. It happens without any effort. I have a mother in this manner. We have accepted our mother. So now we are not required to remember this. Like a rich man is always proud from within that I have so much money. Similarly, you should also at all times feel proud from within. Similarly, you should also at all times feel proud from within that I belong to God. Ashyabhimana jai jan bhori मैं सेवक रघुपति पति मोरे. However you are, you must never disregard the fact that I belong to my Lord. Be it happiness or sorrow, health or sickness, profit or loss, but I belong to God. God belongs to me. Your mind must never dwindle from this principle. There is no equivalent path, no ability. There is not equivalent path, no ability, no strength, nor privilege than acceptance of our belongingness to God. In the acceptance of God's belongingness, the mind, the intellect, etc., are not required. Whereas in our sadhanas, the assistance of the mind, the intellect, etc., are required. Even with the persisting absence of certain traits in a seeker, God chooses to concentrate only on the belongingness and not the absent trait, because our belongingness to God is absolute. He who accepts his relation with God rises above the ordinary. He becomes a Sant Mahatma. He attains serenity and eternal joy. He becomes carefree of everything else. So accept that God belongs to you and relax. I belong to God. God never forget this, and you will certainly experience God. You will be naturally introduced to Satsang and Sant Mahatmas. The most exceptional thing is an eternal relationship with God. By the virtue of the acceptance of the relationship, there is rapid augmentation. Chanting of God's name, meditation, kirtan, etc., are not perpetual, and there is always some interference, whereas there is no interference in the relationship with God. For example, by sleeping, the marital relationship doesn't vanish. Similarly, in forgetfulness or sleep, our relationship with God doesn't vanish. It is perpetual and ever existing. There is exhaustion in performing, chanting, etc., but a relationship is never tiring. This relationship is immediate and eternal. Like marriage breaks only if you break it. If you accept that God belongs to me, then not even God can break this. The jiva or the embodied soul is a fragment of God. Therefore, if he connects with God by any means, he is certainly liberated. Our relationship with God invariably leads to supreme welfare. Those who took God by enmity, like Kansha, Shishupala, etc., were liberated And those who loved God utterly were also liberated, but those who failed to establish any relation were not liberated. If someone expresses that God is mine, it extremely pleases the Lord. In reality, except for God, there is no one whom we can call ours. Become ignorant of God, but God never forgets you. Then disciple put one more question in front of Swamiji. After accepting, after acceptance of God's relation, can God be realized even on persistence of worldly desires? Then Swamiji replies, yes, God can be relied even on persistence of worldly desires, and the desires will not persist once God is realized. The principal mistake has been the erroneous embracing of what is not ours, like body, senses, mind, intellect, and who belonged to us, we did not embrace that God. Single step or a digit, everything becomes incorrect and no mark is awarded. That's why you must at least accept I belong to God and God is mine. To eternally reveal the Lord and to acquire His perpetual love, it is a must to embrace the fact that God is mine. Like a child declares that mother is mine, similarly, the mother is mine, similarly, God is mine. The sentiment of belongingness towards God is the mantra for eternal love. It reveals the presence of God. You must invoke this feeling from within that why is my mother not taking me in her lap? You must firmly believe God belongs to you. This will have an immense outcome and your existence will prove victorious. My heart will be extremely delighted. If you do so, and you will also be happy, you will be blissful. This acceptance is pure profit with no loss of any kind. This wisdom is not ordinary. It is the conclusive essence of the Vedas, Gita and Ramayana. Even if you do not believe the truth will remain absolute, it can never be a lie. You just have to embrace it from your end. Then, even if a void persists, it will be up to God to see it. It will be up to God to seal it. But you must never disregard this. Once accepted, keep on reiterating, I belong to God. This will naturally make you pristine and pure. Is God feebler than a philosopher's stone, which transforms metal into pure gold? The purity which is attained by acknowledging the relationship with God can never be attained by our endeavors. The benefit which is not obtained even after years and years of satsang will be achieved in a single day by accepting our belongingness to God. The stronger one associates with people and material objects, the lesser one feels about his belongingness towards God. When it is properly understood and acknowledged that in the entirety of the limitless cosmos, there isn't even a speck of an object which belongs to us. Even the body, senses, mind, intellect, ego doesn't belong to us, doesn't belong to us, nor exist for us. Then only can be the actual quintessence experienced and understood. Actions by any of the three bodies, introspection and trance means samadhi, even they are not ours, not of any use to us. Only after the departure from our assumed relation with action, introspection and trance, what is achieved, that quintessence only is ours and for us. We are fragments of God only. Till the time a human being has assumed that the body and the world are his and exist for him, till then he will listen, learn, orate, and lecture, but will not adequately understand the quintessence. The advancement of a seeker will not be substantial until the relationship with God is acknowledged. Whereas the progress would be effortlessly humongous if it is acknowledged. I belong to God. Accept this from within, and your spiritual standing will transform. Furthermore, there will be a comprehensive change in you. You will attain peace, doubts will be cleared, and confusions will resolve. Oh dear Lord, I belong to you. Accept this much from within, and all your worldly affinities will loosen by themselves. You will not have to struggle to loosen those earthly ties. Recently, this thought has been ruminating with me a lot. To embrace our eternal relationship with God, it has been particularly coming to my mind that you must anyhow accept your relationship with God. You may accept God as your son, your father, your mother, your brother, your friend, your guru, your teacher, your disciple, your master, your servant, or whoever you expect him to be, just accept this much and it will be tremendously beneficial. You may or may not accept, that is your wish, but I will keep on dictating that is my duty and I will adhere to it. Even if you wish not to accept this, I will not be upset with you, but certainly my heart will not be content. Any sadhana or spiritual practice can never be continuous, but a relation is ever existing. A seeker can pursue any form of sadhana, but must agree on his exclusive relationship with God. Until the time relation with another exists, till then, the sadhana is not absolute. What you believe to be the path towards God realization is not the actual path towards God realization. True sadhana happens only when you accept your relationship with God. For instance, when a married woman visits her mother's place, even while performing all obligation, she never disregards the fact that she is married. Similarly, if you wish to attain God realization, then even while residing in this material world, you must agree from within on your relationship with God. Do not agree to associate even with a sant or a guru, but do respect their teachings. Once you accept that you belong to God, then all your actions will be sadhana for God realization only. I belong to God, God belongs to me. This is the true sadhana. God belongs to us, we belong to God. If the Lord's relation is embraced in this way, then you will not have to purposely try and remember God, but instead you will innately remember Him. In our worldly routine, we have observed that a person is respected based on their material wealth, but in God's routine, one is respected if they are related to God. Just by accepting your relationship with God, all your losses, all worries, all griefs, and all clutter will dissolve. You will become absolute. It is said that the realization of God is extremely effortless, and it is also told that the realization of God is extremely difficult. If one goes by set norms and regulations, then the realization of God is extremely difficult. But if the heart has a genuine passion for God, then it becomes extremely effortless. Like a child asserts that the mother is mine, similarly, God is ours. The heart should have such simple passion. It is exceptionally difficult to attain God realization if the heart lacks passion. God received passion. If a child asserts that the mother is mine, what regulation will be applied in this? The child never deems if he is qualified or suitable. By the virtue of his affection, he fondly and completely dominates his mother. Similarly, God is mine. Simply accept this. If the child cries, the mother has to attend to her child irrespective of what she was doing. Therefore, simply and honestly hail, O Lord, O my dear Lord, God is mine. This one truth surpasses everything. Without asserting any rules and regulations, one should particularly develop this single trait, God is mine. The passion for belongingness should be exceptional and foremost. Disregard every other fact. Don't focus even on your shortcomings, rather gaze only towards the Lord's gracious personality. There can't be anyone except God who can be ours, nor can ever stay with us. For instance, when a mother watches her child play, her heart becomes full of love. Similarly, God's heart is full of love for each one of the souls. He wants to accept them, meet them, and converse with them. But this soul doesn't even glance at God. So it is my request to all of you that, however you are, at least, at least remember this thought that God is mine. Like मेरे तो गिरधर गोपाल दूसरो ना कोई. If you accept this, you will never be unhappy again. There is no particular loss in accepting this, but pure and pure profit. Body, senses, soul, mind, intellect, etc. Nothing belongs to me. Only God is mine. If you accept this, you will be greatly benefited, greatly benefited. Nothing else will bind you, even in times of sickness. You will not be distressed, but would experience eternal joy. The body might feel lethargic, but there will be eternal bliss within. If you develop 4 to 5 degrees of fever, you stop talking or you collapse, even then there will be no difference in the eternal joy within. This is an absolute truth. Since all of you have come for satsang, just accept that regardless of however we are, we belong to God. Simply because of not accepting our belongingness to God, you will have to suffer. There is no doubt about this, at each and every place you will take birth, die, and suffer. Once the relationship with God is accepted, then be joyful. There is no need to do anything else. If you embrace God, then God is happy, and sons are also happy. Everyone contents. No one can be upset because we are not grabbing somebody else's part but taking what is rightfully ours. There is no sweat in accepting God. No fee, no learning, no reading, no memorization, and no qualification. There is nothing in this material world that belongs to us. Understand this, and God belongs to us. This. Nothing belongs to us in this material world. You can doubt this plenty. Everything will be accepted. But God belongs to us. No doubts in this will be accepted. This has to be embraced. Initially, the material world is comprehended and God is accepted. Afterwards, God doesn't remain merely accepted but becomes tangible. God constantly gazes at you like a mother gets delighted when her child calls Ma, Ma. Similarly, when you call out that God belongs to you, God gets utterly delighted. You are a fragment of the Lord. You must remember this at all times. I keep on reiterating this because I have developed a particular regard for it only in recent years. I was not aware of its importance initially. For example, a daughter of your house after marriage belongs to the house where she got married. Similarly, you must also embrace your belonging to God's house. Accept that you are not a bachelor anymore. We are not without a master, unlike a wild beast. We belong to God. Indeed, you all belongs to God forever. You may or may not know. You may or may not accept. Simply transform your sentiment. If you wish to experience God, then you must not regard yourself as a woman or a man. Affirm your relationship with God that I belong to God. If you embrace your belongingness to God, then it is a tremendous achievement. If you affirm yourself as a woman or man, then how will you achieve God realization? If you affirm yourself as a woman, then you will only achieve a man, but not God. Affirmation of one womanhood or manhood is also a hindrance in God realization. The distinction between a woman and a man is necessary for worldly customs and behavior. If you have embraced yourself as the physical body, then how will you experience God? Your inner sentiment only must transform that I belong to God. God's relation is such. It slashes all other funny relationships. You may be a sinner, but even then you are with God. Goodness and wrongdoings don't even touch you. You belong to God and God belongs to you. If you forget this and even this, even then this truth is as it is. Forgetting and not forgetting is in the mind only. You have held the inert body material world, so it attracts you towards itself. If you disregard its relationship, then it will not attract. If you accept your relationship with God, then sins of eternal lives will depart. I belong to God. This is not a fact to ponder upon, but rather should be acknowledged. 2 plus 2 is 4 only. What is in it to ponder? If the mind is free of desires, attachment, aversion, but without any sentiment of belongingness towards God, then liberation will be attained, but God will not be experienced. Whereas there is desire, attachment, aversion in the mind, but the feeling of belongingness towards God is present, then God will be experienced. It means that impeccability is related to liberation, but belongingness is related to God. Sugriva was desirous, but he accepted that God belongs to him. The sentiment of belongingness is the most beloved to God. राम ही केवल प्रेम प्यारा. The relationship of belongingness with God is an essential cause in awakening eternal love. God is neither a man nor a woman nor a neutral, but still He is everything. That's why you can accept Him as a father or a mother. Whatever relationship you want to embrace with God, God is ready to accept it. By accepting the relationship, the sentiment of belongingness develops. The sooner God is attained by belongingness cannot be attained through exercise. The close relationship that your son has with you, a similar relationship a servant does not have. A servant is related due to work and profession, but a son is not related by work and profession. When the servant works well, you get satisfied. But even if the son is illiterate or inept, even then he has full right over his father's property. If you perform activities, then you become a servant. But if you but if you establish belongingness with God, then you become a son. You must try and remember that we are a fragment of God, whom no one can be equivalent to. Then how can anyone be greater than Him? So you must not get afraid of material illusions. We belong to God. By remembering this, you will inherently acquire strength. We are not an orphan, we have a Lord. Remember this. Just because of not remembering God, you got disappointed and disheartened. Will the Lord employ His strength for Himself? Like a mother's milk is for her child and not for the mother herself. Similarly, God's strength is for us. Being a fragment of God, we are not feeble. However, we belong to God is a useless son, not a son. We belong to God, then why should we worry? He who does not belong to God should worry. Nothing except God is mine. Accept this and you will be greatly benefited. There is nothing more joyous and blissful than this. This is the essence of all sastras and teachings of all Sant Mahatmas. Chanting the Lord's name, bhajan, kirtan, etc. are not required. You may or may not have control over the mind, but at least accept this much that there is nothing else except God which belongs to us. How is the Lord? We are not interested in that. However, He is. He is our the protector of countless universe, that Paramatma is our Father, then for what should we worry if you accept that God is mine? I belong to God, then there will be a tremendous transformation in you. You will become carefree and fearless. Accept that God belongs to you and all your work is done. Not even a fraction of a task will be left for you to do. Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, meditative yoga, bhakti yoga, etc. Nothing will be left. The striver or sadhaka will become complete with all objectives achieved, all knowledge earned, and all desires fulfilled. He who is the guardian of all countless cosmos, that God is mine. If this is accepted, then what else is left and how is it left? The essence of love is belongingness. For those who are dear to us, we naturally tend to remember them. We remember our wife, son, and daughter because we love them. We have accepted our belongingness to them. If you want to love God, accept that He belongs to you, then you will naturally remember Him without any effort. Whatever you start liking, the mind automatically goes towards it. God is mine. The power that lies within this is not there in renunciation and austerities. Each and every soul is a child of God. 8.4 million forms of bodies and other bodily forms such as deities, fiends, demons, ghosts, ghouls, etc. are also God's children. If you just accept that we are God's child, then what stops you? Oh, once you accept it, then most of your work is done. The state that is not achieved even after years of sadhana, you will be attained just by accepting this. We belong to God. We have been blessed with this incredible truth. How what else do we require? If we just don't forget our belongingness to God, then everything will become all right. We'll experience Chetna Amal Sahaj Sukh Rasi. We wouldn't be required to perform sadhana. It will happen naturally. We belong to God if we remember this truth. Then impurities will not come close. They will run away. But if we forget this, then we will get surrounded by impurities. We belong to God by accepting this. All of you can become a saint wherever you are. No one can interrupt you from this. Now we belong to God, accept so, and immediately become carefree, fearless, calm, and worryless. For instance, a son naturally, without even any education, has complete ownership over his father's property. Similarly, because of your belongingness to God, you will naturally inherit properties of God. When we look at the Mahabharata, we notice that the Lord presented the Pandavas with both favorable and unfavorable conditions in plenty. But it was incredible of the Pandavas that they never disrespected the Lord. Among the Pandavas, Bhimasen had a big mouth of among the Pandavas, Bhimasen had a big mouth, but even he never spoke against the Lord. Such should be the Lord's admirers. Whereas Duryodhana never developed any admiration for the Lord. He considered the Lord a clever and shrewd man. The Pandavas were incredible in fact that even when conditions moved against their will, they still considered that the Lord belonged to them. Similarly, in situations happening against our will, we should still see that the Lord belongs to us. Numerous things are told concerning God, but those who wish to attain liberation should not dwell on. How is God? How not is He? The truth that delivers liberation is there is a God, and however He is ours. The foremost thing is we have a Lord, we are not orphans. This truth should be firmly accepted. The most promising technique to experience God realization is I belong to God. Most important thing, mind intellect belongs to nature. Therefore, if the mind intellect is unsettled, then that's nature's problem. As I belong to God, as God is immortal, so I am also immortal. Since God never dies, then how can I die? That's why the saints have spoken. राम मरे तो मैं मरूं नहीं तो मरे भला अविनाशी का बालक हूँ मरे न मारा जाए I belong to God, God belongs to me. This truth is greater than chanting the Lord's name or God's remembrance. This is true devotion. In reality, only he is a devotee who belongs to God. He who belongs to God is not an ordinary person. A material person is ordinary. Objects and actions are related to this world. We are in no way related to them. While performing any action, remember that I belong to God, then in what way should I perform this duty? Intuition will naturally emerge within your mind. If you will love the Lord with an innocent heart, then in what way you should be devoted? This will naturally occur within your mind. God is mine, this is a genesis for love. Love doesn't arise from renunciation, austerities, etc., but from belongingness towards the Lord. This truth is profound. After many years of delivering discourses, I became aware of this truth. Whatever belongs to us naturally becomes dear to us. We belong to God, God belongs to us. This is no ordinary truth. Such devotion is of high status. There is no sadhana equivalent to God. We belong to God, God belongs to us. We have become aware of this. Now, why will we take another birth? Most conclusive and essence of all is the fact that only God is ours. Except Him, no one else is ours. God is ever present with us. Except Him, no one else stays with us forever. If you accept this truth, then it is greatly benefiting. What comes and goes never belongs to us, but God is always present with us. He never departs. This is the essence of all the Shastras, Puranas, and Vedas. So behave with love with everyone. Serve everyone, respect everyone, and honor everyone. But in your heart, don't consider anyone yours. Within your heart, consider only God as yours. If you acknowledge others as yours, then one day you will have to weep. To serve, everyone is ours, but for ourselves, pains to receive. No one is ours. For ourselves, only God is ours. You may consider God as Saguna, Nirguna, Sakar, Nirakar, Shesha, whatever you believe, but He is ours. What I have told you is the essence which is not heard everywhere. If you say in front of Yamraja, the deity of death, also that I belong to God, then even Yamraja will shiver. If you accept your relationship with God, then purity and piousness will naturally come to you. We belong to God, God belongs to us. By merely uttering this, you will become pure naturally. We might be a disobedient child, but even then we belong to God. We just have to eradicate our disobedience. Sadhana that happens by the virtue of the body, that sadhana also is not valuable. From within, God is mine. The value that this has. It's not there in chanting, etc., performed by the body. A chaste wife doesn't say her husband's name, but does that diminish her love for her husband? Among hundreds of men, she finds only her husband as hers. नहीं रतिया तो का भया घटिया न चाहिए जैसे नार सुहागनी पति को नाम न लेत. Being a fragment of God, you are one with the Lord. The body is one with the material world. If the body doesn't appear as ours, then Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, and Bhakti Yoga, all three will become effortless. Even after these many years of satsang, if we don't accept that the body belongs to the world and we belong to God, then what have we done? What have we done? High talks like a Pandit wouldn't suffice. It is a profound truth that till God is not realized, until then developing a relationship with anyone is dangerous. When you haven't become free from existing relation, then why do you develop new relationships? Old relationships have already become tough for you to break. Then what will your condition be if you develop new relationships? It will be an utter disaster. Formulating a relationship with anyone is the cause for downfall. Jad Bharat developed a relationship with a deer, so he had to take a deer form. The word sambandha means relationship, only means bondage in an excellent manner or in a great way. Formulation of a new relationship is a new danger. A man asked another, "If I hold the tail of this mare, then what will you give me?" The other replied that the mare herself will give it to you. She will kick you so hard that you will die. It is required of a striver or sadhaka that he must not develop a relationship with anyone. Whatever relationships exist, they are also not broken, then why formulate new ones? A relationship with the material world is the obstacle. This truth is extremely rare. Keep your relationship only with God, whose fragment you are. You accept this or not, acknowledge this or not, or forget this altogether. Even then, your relationship with God will never break. If you accept your relationship with God, your sorrows will disappear. Whatever study I have done, the books I have gone through, and after pondering, it is the foremost truth that we belong to God. Accept this fact for eternity that I am not without a Lord. I belong to God. What I find most valuable for all in my view, I speak that. Also, what is foremost in the view of the Vedas, Puranas, Satsang, and Sant Mahatmas, I speak that. I don't speak against them, and error might occur, but don't focus on them. Don't focus on that. The fact that it is special for us, friendly for us, individual for us, personal for us, profound for us, respectful for us, and beneficial for us is that our relationship is with the Lord. We belong to God. There is nothing as remarkable as this truth. Even the Lord has stated that every soul is my fragment only. Mame vansho jeev loke. It is a request to everyone that you must accept God as yours. You must accept this truth and your improvement will happen automatically. Whether you understand or not, accept that we belong to God. Plenty of other facts are there as well, but I belong to God. This is the essence. That is why I repeatedly say this point. You may say that Swamiji keeps on reiterating the same thing that we belong to God, but even after repeated emphasis, if you don't accept, then how will you accept by stating it just once? So don't get fed up. Accept for God, nothing else is going to stay with you. Reside in this world with immense pleasure. But God is mine. Do not forget this. Everything will then become all right. Renunciation, distant trust, etc. Everything will happen by itself. An easy way to awaken devotion is to consider God as yours. We see in the material world as well as that whom a man considers as his own appears dear to him. We belong to God, God belongs to us. This is the essence. Every other point comes under this. Accepting God as ours is a liberating truth. By merely considering the Lord as ours, the Lord gets pleased. Therefore, you just accept God as your mother, father, brother, husband, son, friend, master, disciple, etc. Rama is my mother, Rama is my father, Rama is my Lord, Rama is my friend. Oh, the compassionate Rama is my all in all. I do not know any other except him. Indeed, I do not know any other. I belong to God. By holding this sentiment, your ego will become connected to God. Then devotion will become easy and supreme without altering the ego. Devotion doesn't become great. This is a principle. If you become God's, then the realization of God becomes effortless. Otherwise, God realization will be difficult. Among all the difficulties faced in God realization, this is the foremost. This is the foremost. In this material world, everyone loves just ostensibly, but not genuinely. God is ours in reality. The dearer the Lord is to us, no one is as dear as him. The body appears good, but even that is not ours. I have studied books. I have also been in the company of saints, and wherever I got to hear good facts, I have been there as well. After visualizing many facts, after reading, after listening, after understanding, and after contemplating, I have concluded that no one is equally dear to us as God is. I belong to God. This truth is the essence of all truths. To attain God and His love, belongingness is the main factor and not austerity, charity, pilgrimage, fasting, etc. If you perform hundreds of austerities, was, pilgrimage, fast, etc., even then nothing can be equivalent to belongingness with God. Belongingness with God is greater than chanting meditation as well. Chanting of God's name, contemplation of God, meditation of God, trance in God, greater than all of this is I belong to God, God belongs to me. The more firmly you trust this, the better your job will become. God is almighty, He can grant everything, He can do anything, so He is mine. He will help me, He will protect me. This desire sentiment must not be there. God is mine, that's it. Don't demand anything from Him, even if He graces by His appearance or not. That's His wish. Where is God? How is He? What does He do? What He does? What doesn't He do? These things are not that much required than belongingness. If He graces by His appearance, He is mine. If He doesn't grace by His appearance, He is mine. If He provides joy, He is mine. If He provides grief, He is mine. If He puts Him through any situation, even then God is mine. The situation is not mine. God is mine. Remember this one truth. Fix this in your mind. Live every moment belonging to God. There are interruptions in chanting meditation, but there are no interruptions in belongingness. For instance, upon rising, the sun doesn't have to illuminate. The illumination happens by itself. Similarly, Upon becoming God's, one doesn't have to work for the betterment. The betterment happens itself by God's grace. I belong to God, as this sentiment grows firm, likewise remarkability will come within you, and an exceptional joy will be there. The distance from God, the difference from God, and the distinction from God will dissolve. By not accepting God as ours, various and many new troubles will arise, and by accepting God as ours, all troubles will dissolve. The entirety of the embodied souls are fragments of God. Ishwar Ansh Jiv Avinashi. Therefore, this belief must be there within each one of us that we are God's beloved son, daughter. If you will accept yourself as God's fragment, then even without saying, listening, good qualities and virtuousness, righteousness will themselves come within you. Such qualities will appear within you. You only will get surprised, but this will happen by accepting your relationship with God. We belong to God. This is the essence of all truths. You may be a householder or renounced. If you accept God as yours, then you will become preeminent. Mirabai accepted as God as hers. मेरे तो गिरधर गोपाल दूसरो ना कोई. Mirabai neither gave birth to any son nor made any disciple. Still, even saints utter her name with the utmost respect. When this one objective will dwell, that I belong to God and I'll proceed towards God, then Yamraja will shiver. Yamraja will become scared of you. Mighty, mighty floods will be scared of you. Floods will resolve by themselves only. No one will be able to conquer you. God will protect you until you have one objective decided. Till then, all flaws will plunder you, trouble you. When a human takes refuge in a king, then thieves, murderers start to become scared of him. You take refuge in God, and all flaws will be scared of you. You will obtain the strength to conquer lust, anger, etc. Whatever relation with God seems appropriate to you, accept that and become carefree. You formulate a relationship with God. This is an eminent strategy to develop love. Until you formulate a relationship with God, till then love will not arise. Accept God as yours and everything will become alright. Righteous thoughts will emerge themselves and those thoughts will be followed as well. Your body is a son of your mother, father, but yourself is a son of God. We belong to God. If you accept this truth, then your satsang is successful. Like a rich man, the son has pride within him. A king, the son has pride within him. Similarly, you should be proud that I am God's son. An easy and simple fact God is mine. If God is called mine in such a way, then it impacts the Lord immensely. Estranged for countless births and after serving and suffering in 84 lakh bodily forms, if the embodied soul utters, O Lord, I am yours. O dear Lord, you are mine. Then it satisfies God immensely. God will be utterly pleased as if God has found something that belonged to him but was lost from him. Those who tread on the might of their sadhana, they are mere laborers. A mother never waits the activities of her child. That if he has worked this much, then I'll feed him this much. I love him this much. Waiting of activities is for a servant. That whatever work he has done, he will be paid accordingly. People often require riches, estates, splendor, etc. But God doesn't require anything. Thus, thus those who take refuge in their ability and worship, perform sadhana, ponder and contemplate, they all toil as laborers. Therefore, instead of depending on the might of your toiling, you must depend on the strength of belongingness to God. A wife is chaste from the self, not by consciousness. She doesn't become chaste by purifying her inner consciousness or antakarna. Does marriage happen after the purification of the inner consciousness? This is an acceptance of the self. Acceptance has no connection with the pureness and impureness of the inner consciousness. Acceptance is of the accepts. Acceptance is of the self, not of the consciousness. If the self accepts God as his own, then what role will inner consciousness play? Will you accept God as yours after purification of the inner consciousness? I belong to the world. There is a great downfall in this. I belong to God. There is a great uprise in this. By having belongingness with God, you don't have to purposely leave the bodily practices, but it is left naturally. I am the body. If you accept so, then all flaws will come, but I belong to God. God is mine. If you accept so, then none of the flaws will come near to you. If a striver sadhaka performs all worldly obligations by believing himself as gods, then his worldly activities become alright, and so will the activities for God. But if he performs all worldly obligations by believing himself as belonging to the world, then his worldly activities will not be alright, and activities for God or worship will not even happen. God is ours, but not for our use. Instead, we are for His use. It means that we should not take anything from the Lord. Instead, we have to give ourselves to Him. And even in the most difficult of circumstances, we have to consider it as a blessing sent by the Lord and remain delighted. Listening, contemplation, profound meditation, restriction of the eyes, nose, ears are not required. The fact is extremely simple. Girdhar Gopal is mine and nobody else. Nobody is ours except God. If it doesn't suit you, even then accept it. This fact is true. Do not consider this to be difficult. The embodied soul is a fragment of God. There is nothing as great as this fact. I express to you with folded hands that you must give importance to the fact that I belong to God. You must strengthen this determination. Nothing similar to this exists, has never existed, will not exist, and is impossible to exist. The best truth that has come under my opinion to attain salvation is we belong to God. We belong to God. If you accept so, then consider this as the best form of bhiksha or alms. If you give me alms for a lifetime, even it is not that much beneficial than accepting this single fact that I belong to God. We are not going to stay here. We have come here and we have to live. Like we stay in a traveler's inn, should consider ourselves here even when this body is not ours. Then who else is ours except for God? Nobody is ours. Only God is ours. This is the first truth, this is the last truth, and this is the ultimate truth. After many years, this has suited me to consider God as ours. God is ours and nobody else is ours. This truth is from our heart, except for this, I don't know much. I thank all brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, students, scholars, teachers, trainers, professors, professionals, officer, officials, listener, learner. I thank all respected doctors and directors. I thank all adorable ministers and managers. I thank all honorable advocates, advisors, administrative advisors. I thank all of you. Thank you very much. Nice to see all of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.